This one might seem just a little bit cheeky, but rest assured it is perfectly legal. So once upon a time, I was in an electrical outlet store that shares the name with a popular food dish, and I was buying a fridge, ironically enough. Now, when I went into the store, having seen the thing online, I said that I've seen this fridge online for X amount of pounds. I think it was £900 at the time. Whereas in the store, it was marked up, I think, at £1,100. I'm making the figures up somewhat because I don't really remember, but it was vaguely along those lines. In other words, it was much cheaper online than it was in the store. But having gone into the store, I said I would like to pick this up now and take it with me. They said, we don't match the online prices. At which point I said, well, why not? Because you're the same company. Surely I can just buy it in store for the same price that you're advertising it online. They said, no, that's not how it works. At which point I said, what if I just order it online and then ask you to go and fetch it? Surely that will work. They said, no, you can't do that. And obviously I thought, well, why can't I do that? Surely I'm perfectly entitled to order it online for collection in store. And if you have it in store, you should allow me to collect it. Now, for whatever the reason, the sales assistant was not particularly happy about me ordering it online to collect in store. But obviously, being me, I just took out my phone and ordered it online there and then, only to get a collection notification that it would be ready to collect in store because they had stock in store. Obviously, the sales assistant looked a little bit uncomfortable and somewhat embarrassed, but disappeared to speak to a manager. I went over to the desk to say, I have a collection, I've just made an order online. Would you have this thing available to collect for me? And sure enough, they did. They allowed me to collect it. Now, there was a whopping £200 odd, I'm rounding off for the sake of memory, between the two orders being online or in store. But why there was a difference in price in store, I'm not really sure. But at the time, it was certainly cheaper to buy it online. Only I was in store and I wanted to take it with me there and then. So this does raise the question, legally speaking, as to whether or not you can enforce a price that you've paid online for collection in store. Well, the ultimate question is whether you are contracting with the same company. Because if you formed a contract with that company by placing the purchase online, then they are contractually bound to provide the product to you because they've accepted your order. Even though the sales assistant was not really happy about providing me the fridge that I'd ordered at the time, because it undercut their price by around £200 or so. That was ultimately by the by because they were contractually bound to provide me with the fridge that I'd paid for, even though I'd paid for it online. Not only that, there's another legal technicality that comes into play here. Because I'd placed the order online, even though I was physically in store, I had not physically inspected the product that I was buying. I was buying it online. Therefore, I had the opportunity within 14 days to return the product for no reason whatsoever, because I bought it online and collected it in store. It was an online or distant purchase for the purposes of the regulations. Therefore, the purchase attracted the 14-day cooling off period as provided by the Consumer Contract Regulations of 2013. To bolster the transaction yet further, I paid with a credit card because I buy everything on a credit card, not for the purposes of having it on credit. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not a fan of credit unless you can use it to your favor. More discussion on that perhaps over on my sister channel, Black Belt Secrets, which I will link in the description below, because I do discuss how you can use these things to your advantage without having incurred any interest. Now, I have no hesitation to say that I will not use a credit card which will incur any interest. I will only buy things where I gain some points, gain some cash back, or if I do use finance, it will be on 0% so that I'm paying over time rather than all at once. Because why not? If I'm paying something on finance, I get the benefit of the Consumer Credit Act under Section 75, whereby the finance company will be jointly and severally liable for the purchase as the trader for anything that goes wrong with the product to uphold my consumer rights. These are the laws and the regulations, so I will use them to the best that they will possibly protect me. I don't, however, and I don't recommend that you use this if it's going to attract interest. My view on this is that if you need to buy it on a credit card and it's not absolutely essential, and it's going to attract interest, then you shouldn't be buying it. If you want to look into wealth generation and becoming financially free, then check out my sister channel, Black Belt Secrets, in which I will discuss many of these things with you. But either way, I thought this would be an interesting, rather cheeky yet legal tip that you can follow. If you can buy something that's cheaper online than it is in store, they have to uphold it because you've made that contract for the purchase of the item. I thought you'd find that interesting. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.